Welcome back to week 7. This week we'll be working on chapter 7, working with factor objects. So quickly to go over some important details here in defining what a factor is. Factors are used for storing categorical data. So this is data that can be the color of an object, the gender of a person, etc. Factors can help create a class of an object, codes the data as integers. So if we take a look here on the right, we have a vector that we use the function factor around to make them into the object factor. So we print out colors and you see that they are returned red, blue, black, and orange with something that's very important that's specific to factors is that when they're returned, you will see them referred to as levels. So data can be assigned to black, blue, orange, or red. But if we try to get the type of it, it is actually an integer. If we want to get the attributes and see what the levels are or what the factors are, we use a function called attributes. And this just breaks down the different levels of a factor object, and it'll give you the class type as well, as we see here as the second return value. So working with categorical data can be helpful but can also be difficult to work with. Certain types of data can be numerical and describe an object, but would be useful to group datasets by categorical. Creating factors allow for just that. So last chapter, I believe I mentioned a data set called mtcars. That is a native data set used to help understand data science topics within R. So you can type in mtcars into your console and you're gonna get this data set right here. The only difference is that I just took the head of it, the first couple values found in this data frame, to showcase what it looks like. So using the publicly available dataset mtcars, we can see the shape of the data. 32 rows by 11 columns can be seen by using the dimension function on the data. This allows for a description of the shape of the data set. So let's take a look and check the type of gears, which is double. Just as I said, the gears here are stored as doubles, but they can be used to describe the cars and would be beneficial to create it into a factor or turn it into the data type factor. So we can check that the type of the gear is actually a factor and the return value is integers. So just following the workflow here, we're making sure that the type is actually double. We're going to turn this into a factor, which is confirmed by type of at the very bottom. So we're still working with factors. If you want to understand what the levels of an object are, you can use the function levels on the variable. This will return the unique values stored in the factor. So here we took mtcars and the column gear, we turned it into a factor back into the original data frame. So the type of integer, correct, that works, is a factor. Levels of mtcars is null. So mtcars in general does not have it, but we can take a look at the gears and see that the levels are 3, 4, and 5. Continuing on, here we can get a glimpse of the structure of a factor using str function or structure. The results show that the unique values of the levels in a factor. Following is the integer value of the factor form of the data. Now here we can check how R stores the data use using the function unclass of a factor data type. Utilizing factors is beneficial in data analysis since the factors are stored as numbers even though they look as character strings. So when it comes to comparing different type of data or different columns, this is quite a useful function to have in understanding that whether or not there are levels is going to determine whether or not your comparison will be correct at the end of the day. Lastly, ordering levels from factor data can be achieved by passing the argument ordered equal true, useful when trying to organize the data for reporting. So that's pretty self-explanatory there. Sometimes when you're reporting your data at the end of your analysis, you want to order them either in ascending or an unordered manner. Using this argument right here can go ahead and make that to whichever decision you go along with in reporting your data set.